Natalie was nestled against Jack's chest, her face flushed with post-intimacy satisfaction.
When are you going to make our relationship public?
Natalie asked breathlessly, her voice sultry as she melted against Jack's embrace. Jack took her hand in his.
Soon,
he replied. When Jack spotted me, his expression immediately turned serious. He grabbed the wine glass beside him and hurled it in my direction, striking me square in the forehead.
Who gave you permission to spy on us?
I clutched my bleeding head, stumbling and tumbling down the stairs, curling up in pain at the bottom. He and Natalie stood on the second floor, looking down at me with disdain.
Natalie is carrying my child. From now on, you take care of her meals. 3 different dishes every day, no repeats. You help her have a safe delivery. And pack your things. Move from our bedroom to the guest room. You're nothing more than Natalie's nanny now.
I said nothing, struggling to my feet and grabbing the suitcase I had already packed. I walked calmly toward the front door. The butler moved to stop me, but Jack laughed coldly.
Let her make a scene. She could never bear to leave me. Mark my words, within 3 days, she'll come crawling back, begging for my forgiveness.
As soon as he finished speaking, the guests present began to snicker. Just as I was about to step out of the mansion, Jack suddenly called after me.
Leave your cross necklace behind. Natalie's been having nightmares lately.
That necklace was all I had left of my parents. Meeting my tear-filled eyes, his tone remained ice-cold.
How much money will it take for you to give Natalie that necklace?
9 years of marriage, living like dirt beneath his feet. What was that worth? I couldn't be bothered to calculate, but I knew that if I didn't comply and hand over the necklace, he'd fly into a rage and have his bodyguards take it by force. Just like the last time they'd stolen my other belongings, I removed the necklace and fastened it around Natalie's neck, saying to her,
I wish you and the baby you're carrying health and safety.
Hearing this blessing, Jack's expression softened slightly, offering me a small concession.
As long as you behave yourself, my child will be your child too.
The moment he finished speaking, the necklace around Natalie's neck suddenly slipped and shattered on the floor. Seeing that the fragments had cut Natalie's leg, Jack immediately swept her up in his arms, carrying her princess style to a chair while barking orders at the butler to call the family doctor. His frantic concern made everyone present look at me with barely concealed amusement. The whole scene was so absurd that even I found it ridiculous in his eyes. Even if his wife were dying, it wouldn't matter as much as his mistress getting a tiny scratch. I gripped the handle of my suitcase tighter and turned to leave, but Jack grabbed my wrist, his voice frigid.
Apologize.
What? Before I could finish, he dragged me down, forcing me to my knees beside Natalie's feet. My knees scraped against the jade fragments, blood staining the white marble floor. Seeing the blood, Jack's eyes flashed with disgust, and he released his grip.
You deliberately sabotaged Natalie's necklace and injured her. Don't you owe her an apology?
After 9 years of marriage to Jack, I'm sorry had become practically my catchphrase. I bit my lower lip until I tasted blood, then resignedly stood up and bowed deeply to Natalie, saying I'm sorry 3 times before looking at Jack with detached indifference.
Is that enough?
He stared at the blood on my lips, his chest visibly rising and falling.
Stop putting on that disgusting, pitiful act.
Before I could respond, the family doctor arrived in a rush. Jack shoved me aside and led the doctor to Natalie's side. While his attention was completely focused on her, I quickly walked out of the mansion. Just as I reached the entrance, I heard 2 crisp car horns. Seeing the Maybach outside the iron gates, I quickened my pace. But before the gates could fully open, 2 bodyguards suddenly rushed out and forcibly dragged me back into the mansion. I had meticulously planned our 9th wedding anniversary party, even going so far as to invite numerous friends and guests to celebrate with us. Before the party began, I found myself upstairs outside the study door, watching my husband with his arms wrapped around his secretary. They brought me to the study, where Jack tied me to a chair and ordered the staff to use a thick needle to draw my blood. Through the half-open door, I heard the doctor speaking to Jack.
Both Mrs. Evelyn and Miss Natalie have O-negative blood type, but Mrs. Evelyn has a history of congenital heart disease. Forcibly drawing blood could trigger acute shock. I suggest we transfer her to a hospital first, before giving Miss Natalie the transfusion for her anemia.
Don't try to persuade me otherwise. Jack's voice was ice cold.
Your job is to make Natalie better. I'll handle everything else.
Hearing Jack's approaching footsteps, I slowly closed my eyes.
Does it hurt?
His tone carried a rare note of comfort.
Just bear with it a little longer. We'll be done soon.
I turned my head away, too tired to waste words on him. After drawing 800 milliliters of blood, my lips had turned purple just then. Natalie's coughing echoed from the master bedroom. Jack immediately stopped the doctor from removing the needle, demanding double the amount. The doctor was sweating profusely as he tried to dissuade him, saying that drawing more blood might kill me. Jack hesitated for 2 seconds before saying only,
Natalie is pregnant. Her needs come first.
But
I interrupted the doctor.
Draw it. Just let me leave afterward.
Jack looked at my bloodless face, anger churning in his eyes, that he opened his mouth as if to ask whether I really intended to make such a scene by running away from home. But Natalie's sweet call of "my darling" instantly pulled his attention away, and I passed out from blood loss. I woke up on a hospital bed, having just recovered from shock due to severe blood loss. I saw Jack sitting beside the bed, reviewing documents. After we stared at each other for a long moment, he expressionlessly brought over a bowl of oatmeal and tried to feed me. I shook my head.
I can do it myself.
Watching me eat half the bowl, Jack asked,
Are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere?
I deflected his question.
Give me my phone.
Perhaps my tone was too distant, because he froze for a few seconds before having the butler bring my phone over. Seeing the string of missed calls on my phone, Jack asked out of nowhere,
Who called?
He never asked about such things before. A flash of irritation crossed my eyes as I simply said,
No one you know.
Jack loosened the top button of his shirt and looked down at me.
How long are you going to keep throwing this tantrum? Besides me, who else would put up with your terrible attitude?
In the past, whenever he got angry, I would always reflect on my own behavior while trying my best to appease him. But now, I simply pointed at his vibrating phone and reminded him emotionlessly.
Natalie's calling you.
Hearing this, Jack's eyes immediately lit up with joy. Out of habit, he stepped away from me and went into the hallway to take the call. As soon as he left, my phone rang. When I answered, the person on the other end spoke urgently before I could say anything.
Weren't you supposed to come find me? Are you having second thoughts?
No, I'm not having second thoughts. There was just an accident.
An accident? What happened to you? I need to come back to the country immediately.
I interrupted his rambling, looking down and pressing my lips together.
Just give me a few more days.
When Jack returned to the room, I had just hung up the phone. He caught sight of the long-absent smile at the corner of my mouth and felt an inexplicable tightness in his chest. But he had promised to go back and sing lullabies to Natalie and the baby, so he didn't have time to ask who I'd been talking to. It must have been that cousin who often visited me. After marrying into this family, my social circle had been reduced to only female relatives. He picked up his documents and said without looking back,
I have some business at the company. I'll come back tomorrow.
But tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that, he never appeared. Instead, through mutual friends, I kept receiving videos of him and Natalie together. He took Natalie to galas and dinner parties, like a lovesick teenager eager to introduce her to everyone. On the day I was discharged from the hospital, Jack posted a 9-photo grid on Instagram. Under the sunset, he stood on a hot air balloon, cupping Natalie's flushed face as they shared a passionate kiss. I commented, wishing you both many children and eternal happiness. 10 minutes later, Jack called me. I didn't answer. Half an hour later, I completed my discharge paperwork alone. Outside the hospital's maternity ward, I ran into Jack and Natalie. They were being intimate again, completely oblivious to their surroundings. Jack's hand moved to cup Natalie's breast, caressing her.
Hey there, you've just watched a thrilling preview, and now you're probably itching to see more. Here are 5 reasons why you can't miss the rest of the series. First, the plot is full of unexpected twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Second, the characters are so vivid and relatable, you'll feel like you're part of their world. Third, the relationships between the characters are complex and full of drama. Fourth, there are hidden secrets and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And finally, the production is top-notch, with amazing visuals and a great story. Don't miss out. Head back to the homepage to watch the other episodes.